Tell me, how has cannabis impacted your life?
Now, this is something I've been asked a few times now. The answer is simple. It gave me my life back. Over the years of putting a flame to a pan or mincing onions, I've learned that state of mind is a powerful thing. Far too often do we let things like anxiety and depression take the wheel and steer us. The use of cannabis has taught me the importance of self-care, which has allowed me to take a step back, observe, deduce, and calculate my feelings and emotions. This has helped me in so many ways, in and out of the kitchen, that I believe in this so much I've decided to change my life and help erase the stigma behind the devil's lettuce. This is where I choose to tell my story with flavors and terpenes. Only this is where I add my own flavor, a flavor that can help people heal as I did, cannabis. So grab a joint, light it up, and come with me as I embark on this journey. This is Deliciously Dope, a journey into the world of culinary cannabis. And we're back with another episode of the Daily Chronicles. What's up? I'm Chef Rodney, the host with the most. Today, my guest. Oh, listen. She's an experienced vice president of she used to be an experienced vice president of organizational change within the technology and operations division of a top 5 bank in the U.S. She's the CEO and just all around badass of Edibles, her edible line, and Blue Dream Experiences. What is that? We'll find out more later on in the show. But I need to tell y'all where this person just is going. It's you can see the ambition, you can see the drive, you can see these stellar opportunities out there, but it's the passage that this person is after. Now, when we come back after this very lame attempt at an intro, you're gonna meet the amazing L.A.DAWSON. Hi, welcome back to another Daily Chronicles. Today, we sit down with the amazing L.A.DAWSON. Who is L.A.DAWSON? Well, This is L.A. Dawson, Miss Lisa Lieberman. I want to make sure I got that right. Did I get that right?
Yeah, good job, Rodney. Nice to meet you.
I didn't even practice. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show today. Now, I kind of very rarely get intimidated from bios when I read about these people and what anybody does in the state of Michigan cannabis. You're like, holy shit, there's a lot of big words in yours. There's a lot of big words. So this year, you co-founded Mishgo?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We're an organization trying to promote cannabis hospitality in Michigan. So we think there's a huge opportunity to bring people to Michigan from outside the state. Honestly, with cannabis, it's the only state that's really drivable in terms of hospitality and travel and tourism. I personally actually still live, you're seeing my home in Ohio. I'm moving to Michigan in the next 6 months because I see the opportunity and frankly, myself as a tourist going to other states, I've taken my money to Colorado, to Washington, to California, and I want to bring it to Michigan now.
I get it. So Mishgo stands for those people that don't know, Michigan Cannabis Hospitality Industry Growth Organization.
That's a mouthful.
Well, but an acronym that is important nevertheless. Now we've heard things about certain other organizations that shall remain nameless and how caustic they've become for caregivers' rights in Michigan. Now, let me go ahead and just nip this in the bud right now, okay? I've met Miss Lisa in person before she came on the show. We've sat down and we've talked. I've had her products, and I can tell you they're not the same. I can tell you that they're not the same. What do I mean by that they're not the same? Well, the lady in front of you, and I can attest to this, gives a shit. Okay, it's not made for, oh, you can pop a couple of these and have a nice time on the boat, brah. No, these are made for people that, yo, all right, remember how like you don't want to like hurt your back again or something? Yeah, here you're not in pain. That's what it is. That's what it is. And so, even to me, as a chef, it says so in the fucking title. Michigan Cannabis Hospitality Industry Growth Organization. I'm good with that. That's tourism, that's restaurants, that, guess what? We fucking need.
Absolutely. And people like you, you're a chef. And the cannabis skills, that just takes food to a whole different level.
You can feel food.
Learning from you, Rodney, you're so educated about the plant and about what it can do for the body and how you can do that with food and how it's just such a different experience from other methods of ingestion. And that to be able to educate people about that, and at the same time be able to help them ease their pain or be able to just feel better during the day. And that's actually how I personally got into edibles, was just trying to feel better without having a smokable product. And it's long lasting, it's delicious. Flavor means a lot to me, as I know it means to you. Think of how many edibles you've tasted out there in the market that they just don't
cut
taste
it.
good. No, they don't even taste good. So I'm trying to change that.
Oh, absolutely, and I can tell you that because so you handed me a little bit of a sample at the the event that we went to, and I can't get this one. I hate pre-rolls. This is why pre-rolls don't raise supreme. I'm telling you.
It's very edibles, baby.
Well, true, but everybody's like, "Oh, my pre-roll game." No, it's the same. Calm down, it's the same. So. Yeah, I can't even.
You got to go in there.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'll get another one. So with edibles, you always notice a consistency of failure. All right. It's either way too stupid potent, where like, yeah, but no. Whoa. Okay, you're blasting you're not healing anything there. Or there's not enough, which, okay, or whatever. Or hot dog water, whatever. I've been disappointed more than I've actually enjoyed some edibles out there. And then just smelling yours, that's why I popped it open. I was like, I'm gonna tell you what I think right here and now.
Yeah,
I was like, that smells like citric acid. Yep, you're on point. I was like, yes, I'm excited about this. And key lime it's not a flavor that it's out there in abundance, I would say. I mean, there probably is, but I haven't seen it yet. But
Right. And I like to experiment with different flavors. That's the other thing, to your point, that I see that's lacking is a little bit of creativity in the marketplace. And part of that is because of dispensaries' inability to refrigerate product and so on. Whereas as a home chef and as a home cook myself, one of my favorite things that I like to make is hummus, for example, because you can really enhance the flavor using the right terpenes, depending on what strain you're using, to really enhance the flavor of hummus with that citrus. You just can't customize it the same way, with product from somewhere other than home, I guess. But we're trying. We're trying to do some different things.
So that's the beautiful part, because ain't nobody talking about using lemongrass instead of garlic in some places.
Right, exactly. And think how lemongrass would pair so well with different strains, like a lemon haze or a lemon diesel even. It would be absolutely fantastic with some Thai food, a little lemongrass flavor. And it's just, the great part is we're just at the infancy of this in Michigan and really across the country. Nevada just opened their consumption lounges in the last couple of weeks. So, while I know sometimes in Michigan we feel like we're behind, we're really not. We're right on target with what's happening in other states. And in fact, again, somebody that lives in Ohio, we're way ahead of everybody else in the Midwest. So it's an exciting
And that's what
time.
exactly. And so I'm about to be very busy. That's all I can say. I really know that. But at the same time, and I'm sure you can attest to this, everything comes with a cost. I definitely don't know my value yet, but at the same time, and thank you for the compliment earlier. I didn't mean to denounce that, but I do know quite a bit about cannabis, and I do know what it can do, and I do know that, adding specific terpenes here would allow for more broader spectrum absorption of cannabinoids to the ECS. I do know that, and so it goes all the way back to feeling your food. So just imagine if someone's already skipped all of that and studied it and da-da-da-da-da-da, and now you're to the point to where, like, yo, real talk though, the seafood paella I'm eating right now is infused with, let me see, if I was gonna go paella, sour cookies. I would put sour cookies or some kind of sour cookies in paella. Why? You know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. You know what I mean? I'm going to let y'all, the viewers, figure it out. I want you to prove me wrong here. Go ahead and be like, oh, this is fucking garbage. It's not.
And you know what you sound like right now? You sound like a sommelier. So, if you were go to wine country in California, these are the conversations we would have. What does the food pair best with? And it's the same with cannabis. It's just that we don't have that broad acceptance as a society yet. But that's our role, is to introduce that to people, to take the stigma away, and to really teach people how to enjoy cannabis, that it's not just one strain. There literally are thousands of strains that we can pair with food, and we can pair with
You're so right.
experiences.
You're so fucking right. So it's funny you should mention that, because it's more to your point. I talked to a person that I knew smoked weed his entire life. I used to smoke weed with him when he was little, okay. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, this guy was growing hemp, and he's like, it won't get you, because it's fucking hemp. He goes, no, man, it tests below, so they can't. No, it's fucking hemp. Like,
Right.
I don't think that you understand that I'm telling you that it's hemp. I understand that you live in Kentucky now. That's great. There's no fucking way he's growing THC. No, there probably is, actually. But the fact is, it's probably hemp.
That's right.
Well, he said it. I know, because it's hemp. Like, it's just like, people don't want to listen. That's
Right.
fine. Fuck them.
Well, I must agree. Well, the people we should spend our time on are the people who do want to listen, and the people who do have interest and want to learn. And there's a lot of people out there, when you and I met, I told you that I had traveled the country over the last couple of years teaching people how to make their own edibles at home. I went as far as Portland and all the way down to Tampa, to places like Baltimore, Milwaukee, Chicago.
I would love to do something like that.
Well,
Like that's I would love to do that.
we'll do the food tour. It was a lot of fun, and the thing is, the people that hosted me, I would go to their house and we would do a party, and I would educate them just like you do. And the people that want to learn absolutely are into it. They love the experiences, and they love the idea of pairing this with different food things that they don't otherwise see on the shelves necessarily.
I'm thinking right now of how I could possibly do it, and I shit you not, I know different chefs in every single state in the United States, and I know that their restaurants would do something like this.
It would be fun.
I could do a national tour if I wanted to, but at the same time, some of those states you can't smoke weed in.
Right. And right, so that's where you have to be very cautious. So in some of those states, I would cook with CBD, for example. Other places where you have more of a decriminalization situation, you can do things in private settings that you can't necessarily do in a public setting. So, but those are some of the challenges of working in this part of the industry. You know, in learning a little bit more about the MRA, I know that they recently did a webcast where it was mentioned that right now, even if you do have a consumption lounge, you cannot have infused food. And until they work those things out in Michigan, these private types of events are going to be where it's at. And actually, I sort of like the smaller, more intimate events anyway, because you can teach and you can talk to people and you can let them ask questions about the food.
Well, that's brilliant. So check this, okay? What if you had, let's say, a consumption lounge, okay, that with the emphasis of edibles, but you weren't open for business, if you will, every single day of the week. It was only private events on dinners that have pre-sale tickets. That's the only way to get in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But once you come in, you can go to the smoking and non-smoking section. That's the dream of it. That's where we want to go with this. We're on the cusp of this. So if we don't actually push forward for this, like, we're doing nothing for anyone. That's just it. And I consider myself, I wouldn't say a gray paladin, but like a gray paladin in a sense, because like there's the black market. We know that salute, hats off, that's where we came from. That's how we learned to get where we're at today. Right. Then there's the white market, the legal market, like where you fucking tax that, you know what I'm saying, if you want your money from it. Then there's the gray area where I exist, where it's just like, Right. Both have their place, and I'm going to keep both in their fucking place. That's kind of my job now. That's what I feel. If people want to say no to that, say no to that. You want to disagree with that? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Well, and I think the great thing too, again, there's a reason why I'm uprooting my life and moving to Michigan next year. We have that opportunity. It's just a matter of how we're thoughtful about it. As you know, and those of you that might be tuning in from outside of Michigan, if you know me from Ohio or from some of the other places I've been, you can grow up to 12 plants. Any resident of the state of Michigan, and the state permits you to gift that product to people. And so that sort of gives some of us in the small business arena like you and I are. We don't have big corporate money behind us. We don't have a giant conglomerate backing us. But by being able to gift our products, really, we're gifting our experience. But we bring in cannabis. No different than if you came to my house and we shared a beer or a glass of wine together. So, we share our food with cannabis. We share our massages and yoga. We enjoy cannabis while we're doing that. And so there is a little bit of an area in Michigan that we're fortunate to have where we can sort of carve into that niche that's sort of in that gray area that you talked about.
That's really good. This is from Arcano. Yeah, that's good. That's the sour cup cookies I was telling you about. Or no, excuse me, I take that back. Sour garlic.
Sour
cookies.
Garlic.
That's what it is.
So what if you were to cook with that strain, what kind of food do you think you'd make? And I'll smoke myself while you're thinking about it. By the way, this is the first time I've officially smoked on video.
There you go.
So I'm really pleased that you and I get to do this together, Rodney.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Let's see.
I had to be closeted for so many years, Yeah.
Chicken piccata.
Yeah.
I would do a
No,
chicken
no.
piccata with this.
Oh yes, that sounds
Chicken
delicious.
piccata or chicken Diablo, which is kind of the other end of the
Yes,
thing, but
I like a shrimp
something with that
Diablo.
vibe.
You'll have to make that for me.
A good lemon meringue would be good with this. I'd be good with that. Yeah, it's good. I fucking love it. I mean, like I said, listen, if someone's gonna give you a free pre-roll, you take it. That's
Right.
the point of it.
Yes.
That's the point of it.
You must.
know?
It's a gift. Again,
Exactly.
it's a gift.
It's a gift anyways.
You people turn down a gift of a bottle of wine? No.
No.
And I certainly would not turn down the gift of a pre-roll.
Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. Speaking about how it's supposed to be, we're gonna be right back after this next message. Sorry, I got those pre-rolls to my head real quick. After this real quick message from my Cannabis merch. Cannabis merch. Yeah, no, we gotta get you one of these sweatshirts. These are sweet. Sorry, you'll see what I mean in a second. Without any other further ado, here we go with the 5 dubs.
All right.
Miss L.A.DAWSON, Miss Dawson, if you will. Who was the
you're
first
nasty.
person? Who was the first person you ever smoked with? Like, set the stage. Like, what happened?
Okay, so I was a just say no kid of the 80s, and I went to college, and when you get to college, weed just happens to be there. So probably the first person I smoked with was my college roommate, Laura, and I'll leave her last name out to protect her identity. And then after that, I'm a really driven person, and the thing that I found for cannabis was it really chilled me out. And while I'm still a
Did
driven
you say you were a
person,
just say no kid of the 80s?
I really, really was.
I got you.
I was in those groups. Oh no, now I'm tagged. But yeah, that was me. So I'm the person that you use as the poster child of how that program failed.
Absolutely.
So
Dare did not mean, no, drugs are just really expensive. That's really what Dare meant.
yeah, right. So yeah, it was college.
Okay, so how old, like, you gotta,
I was
there's
probably
more
like
to that story.
19, 20 years old at that point, like older than most people I know. But I mean, I loved it from day one, and pretty much ever since I've continued using it. And over time, I found the medicinal reasons. They always say that all use
Right.
is medicinal, and I totally 100% believe that for myself. So.
They didn't say that in Dare.
No,
Fuck,
right.
no, they didn't.
Could've.
No, they didn't. No, but it is medicinal. I don't think that I'd be sitting here without it. Let's just say that.
Right.
I dig it, man. Like, set the vibe for us. What was the first thing you smoked? Was it like a proverbial pop can? Was it the fucking spliff? Like, what was it?
It was probably a little, a little bowl, maybe probably a wooden bowl, I would guess. Yep.
Do you
Back in
perhaps
the day,
remember the
we had
first?
to
Was it
smoke
just
a
weed
bowl
or
forever.
right?
I'm all about the glass now.
I used to love those small little metal pipes that you could like invert and close the weed inside of it. I used to love those.
Yeah, so that was probably
Terrible
the second thing I ever smoked out of was one of those.
And they were like $7 a piece.
Right.
So like, if you lost it, you're like, shit, I'm buying 3 right now anyways.
Right.
Do you remember Salvia? Oh man. Okay, listen. So you remember K2 when like the spice came out with all the bullshit? Okay, Salvia came out around the same time. I've got all my friends screaming, "Just continue to smoke weed." I'm like, "But this is legal." They're like, "Yeah, because it's fucking killing people," and that's the truth of it. Like the spice shit, the K2 was killing people. Like it's potpourri, guys. Don't smoke that, but whatever.
Right.
And so like. So then salvia, I don't even remember what, but there's this like sticky substance called salvia. It was like it was almost like hashish a little bit for hookahs, right? And so my friends and I, and this is the only time I've smoked salvia, decided to go get it because you could buy it at the head shop. You know what I'm saying? So we went to the head shop on campus, and sorry, I digress. That's really good. That's really good, but. There was 5X, there was 10X, there was 20X, and then there was 100X. So we were just like, yo, we ain't bitches. Ain't nobody gonna back down from this. The whole way home, I thought I was gonna die. Because we decided to smoke it right out back. You should do. I do not condone that. I mean, dude, maybe smoking a joint now, that's not a big deal, but no, we just right there in the car. And then we were like, all right, let's try. No, I thought I was going to die. I wasn't even driving. I was riding in the car. I'd ride in the trunk halfway home because I just could not. I couldn't take it. Like it was too much visually for me. And then when I got home, 10 minutes later, I was fine.
Right.
And then everybody else was. And then I learned later that everybody else was pretending to be high for the next 2 hours. We hung out, and I'm like, that's not even fair now. That's stupid. But you can't call mulligans when you're trying to be a badass in salvia.
It's not. You're not wrong. The folly of youth.
Right? So let me ask you this.
Tastes like fucking shit too.
It did too. It was like smoking the devil's boogers. That was terrible.
That sounds like a new strain of something.
Oh, watch it. They're like, yo, you smoked that devil's boogers yet?
Devil's boogers.
Can you not keep repeating that word? But no. So, all right. So you're 18, 19 years old in college. You're like, yo, give me that bowl. Let's hit this. Like, tell us what, like, take that hit, exhale, a little bit of coughing.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, back then, it's a little different now that I'm a daily consumer, but back then it was like, whoa, I could hear all these sounds that I didn't hear before. Just maybe more alert, but at the same time, more relaxed, if that makes sense, more relaxed and alert. And when you go outside, you can just breathe in the air and listen to the sounds, and just so much more of your senses are engaged. And for me, I was just able, even right that first couple of times that I did it, just to be able to let your mind just free flow and not feel the judgment. And I know I sound like a total hippie right now,
No, I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying.
That's my experience from the very beginning, and that's I think why I always loved it. But I always back then felt really guilty about loving it.
Yep. Yep.
And it's so great now
because
to not have to feel that way.
It made you feel like a criminal.
Yes, right. And
but at the same time, like I learned later on in my career, especially, that that's probably the most non-criminal thing I'm doing.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a dick or like,
No.
But I'm saying.
It's crazy how the plant was propagandized for all those years, and certainly used as a weapon against people of color, which is really, when I think about it, it makes me really angry. And there are still people in prison for this plant that is really, to your point, one of the most harmless things that you could do. And actually, in my case, I think beneficial.
I think, okay, listen, it's funny you should mention this, because as we speak, there are people that are telling us one thing and then doing another politically. Okay, let's just say that. Unfortunately, those political people have dollar bills. Well, that's just it, you know. And so normally when you see someone outside of Michigan want to come into Michigan for business-wise, you're like, no, full stop.
Right.
Pay the toll, and then he gets paid, and then boom, they're doing business in your backyard. The point is, then they want to tax it. Then they want to be like, yo, I want to get my Skrilla. Then they want to be like, yo, I don't want no rules. And then they want to be like, yo, I want to monopolize the market too.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, caregivers' rights? Yeah, no, fuck those.
Right.
Fuck those. Fuck those. Fuck caregivers is exactly what somebody said on camera. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
So remember, white market. And I don't say this to you, Miss Dawson. I don't say this to you at all. But white market, knock, knock. I didn't have a joke there, but the point is, don't be a dick. That's what it is. Like,
You know, this pie is big enough for everybody.
Exactly.
And that's what upsets me about this is there's no reason to give caregivers any shit.
No.
Caregivers
I ain't
were in
fucking
this
with
for the
you.
right reason from the beginning. And I hate to be the, you know, I don't want to bash corporate America too much because that is where I came from, but I've never felt comfortable in that corporate environment. I've never felt comfortable with profits at all costs kind of attitudes. We can all work in this together and we'll all still be successful at the end of the day.
Oh, exactly. You know, I'm not a chef because I want to be rich. Let me just say that, okay? But I will say this. If you take a look at who I've become over just the last 365 days, and this is not a flex, but you can see that my value per hour has dramatically increased. I've had people calling me going, hey, yeah, by the way, come do this and come do that. All sounds fancy and sweet. How much you paying? Then they insult you.
Right.
And then you're like, that's adorable.
Right.
And then they're like, why didn't you call me? Are you, oh, you're serious?
Right.
Oh, shit. You poor thing. That's the thing. Like, and it's just like, oh, I'm not gonna. I know how much an hour of my life is worth now, and it's worth even more with cannabis in it. That's the point, you know. And here's the best part. I'll tell you that you're fucking lowballing me, you piece of shit, while smoking a joint in your face. That's the brilliant part of it. Because anarchy is not, down with the government. No. Anarchy is buying milk directly from the farmer. Anarchy is buying milk straight from the people who have chickens without having to put a tax on it.
Right. That's right. And again, the state of Michigan gives us the ability to do this with the ability to give gifts, the ability to grow our own, at least right now. And what I loved seeing too in Michigan is that there is this feistiness about, no, you're not going to take that away from us. And I love that. And as you know, I just keep mentioning Ohio by comparison, there's no home grow allowed. It is an oligopoly, if you will. Here, the little guy can't really get in at all in the state of Ohio. So I'm proud to become a Michigander for that reason, and I hope that I'm not one of those posers. I promise, pinky swear. Even
we'll
with
give
all
you
the
stickers if you just believe it. No, but really, we will have stickers. So yeah, that part is true.
There will
All
be
of
a
this is true.
sticker. But I love this. I love the spirit like what you have, and that's one of the things that I like best about Michigan and getting to know the people there is there are a lot of just regular, everyday, good people that want to participate in the industry, and they have in an underground way for a long time. And now's their opportunity, I think, to be part of this. But there's still fights to be had.
Absolutely. It's it's under attack every day. It's just how much today, or do I have to? What email is most important? Because it's all about working from home now. It's all about mobility and things of that nature. If you haven't taken one thing away from this whole COVID economic shutdown thing, you need to take away one thing, two things. One, cannabis works. Facts. Okay, facts. They don't care about your feelings. Two, we need to become self-sustainable.
Yes.
or come on, or they can continue to do this to us, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. There's many other self-sustainable, things that we should be doing, but cannabis, are you fucking kidding me? When you plant it in the ground, guess what it does? It gives you better soil when it's done. You want to know why? That's a thing called phytoremediation. Yeah, chefs don't know about this. They probably fucking should.
Right.
Understand? Because you don't see a lot of chefs going, oh, I do farm to table. Where do you order your food? Oh, from this produce. No.
Right.
Then you can't say that's farm to table. It's somebody else's farm, yeah. So technically, but that's the point. We can taste your bullshit.
And two, how was it farmed? Was it farmed with chemicals or was it farmed organically?
Is it ethically? Exactly. No-till even, I understand that semantics are there and things of that nature, but real talk though, these aren't semantics just to argue by. These are things that we should be fucking doing to leave a better world. So we can leave better kids for the fucking planet and take care of it down the road. I mean, it's as easy as that.
Yeah.
We just want to get high at the same time.
Why can't we do all of it at the same time?
That's the point.
Right?
We're motivated as shit. That's the issue. Like, our parents are like, you shouldn't smoke weed. Well, guess what I get to do now?
Right. And I'm still motivated and probably more pleasant to be around.
Oh, yeah, and that's my point. Like, I don't think that I could have, I'll be 100% honest before we jump to a commercial break for the second dub, but I'll be 100% honest, like, I don't think that I could be doing any of this right now if I couldn't do it high. Like, that's just it. Like, if someone's like, all right, so you have an 18-hour flight to do this and do that, and by the way, you can't smoke weed in any of it. Not doing it.
Well, imagine having to go to the grocery store during the pandemic without having been high.
I just grew my own food. I mean, we wouldn't, I did buy bread from like a local artisan, and I tried to go as local as I could, of course, and economic crisis, blah, 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 plus who wants to, whatever. So I did have a sourdough starter that lasted all of about a month. Bread Pit was dead pretty quick. Because we were just like, fuck it. We ate him pretty quick. It was delicious cinnamon rolls. That's all I'm gonna say. And then she was like, was I supposed to save some? Yeah, you were supposed to save some. And then,
And then it was gone.
It was delicious.
And well worth it.
Bread Pit. But when we come back after this message from Noble Road here, we're going to get into the favorite dubs. We're going to figure out what your favorite kind of way to consume cannabis and why when we come back. That butterfly is my favorite, by the way. Like, I didn't like it for the longest time, and I was like, that's kind of fucking sweet. Yeah, Noble Road, you guys, check them out. I love their edibles because it's kind of like you can get up and kind of like pop one real quick, take the edge off, call it a day, get them at. Plus, honestly, they're coming out with this live hash rosin right now. I've got to say, and I know she's going to give me shit about it, but Alyssa, I don't like the Glucifer. The Glucifer is good, but I think the golden glue is my shit. That is my favorite. She's not going to care either way, but shout out Noble Road, Alyssa Price. She's out there killing it, teaching, people that you can be a badass, can a bitch. I'm kidding. That's the nicest. She don't it too. She was like, get it.
You should get a stack.
Don't. She would beat me up. What are you talking about? Beat my ass real quick. While smoking a joint, by the way.
I saw that they make hash cookies, which you
do.
don't do that very often. That's awesome.
They're really, really good too. So I have had a lot of edibles, and while we're on the subject of edibles, let's talk about yours. I would have to say that Noble's Road edibles are a good solid like 9 out of 10, and that's everything collective. Okay, that's I could go down and break it, but collectively, to give people a generalization, a solid 9 out of 10. Why is it just a 9 out of 10? Well, All right, check it out. So there was a few flavors that I didn't really care for, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I wanted more from it overall, consistency-wise. And they know that, and they're already working on that, but they're like, you're going to say this, and that's what I'm going to say. But I wouldn't be doing my diligence if I didn't take at least a point away for it. So I figured fucking half a point a piece is what it is. Overall, if you spend money on it, it's good. It's worth your money, yeah. So absolutely. And I think that any kind of like, new user can jump into it and see it at a dispensary, know that it's, it's made and it's, a good quality source. Merci beaucoup. And enjoy, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I had one, I confessed myself the other night at the party.
Absolutely. What did you have? The sugar cookie? The
I did.
Thai cookies?
I did.
Yeah.
And I thought it was good, and I actually had a good buzz afterwards. I think the cookie was 50 milligrams, so I cut it in half and shared it with my husband. We had a nice little night.
There you go. There you go. I got a hold of one of them gummies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let me tell you.
Did you like them?
As a chef, there is a multitude of just monstrous fucking malcontent that people shove into their edibles. And they're like, oh, dude, this is that fire. This is that new. Okay, first and foremost, if you come at me with millennial terminology as fire and new, I'm automatically going to throw you to the back of the line. I say that being a millennial myself, but dude, listen. Don't call me out in public like that.
So don't talk to me that way.
Right. But the truth is, I've had a lot of the new, and I've had the fire, and people, and I've made my
Everybody's
own.
got the fire. Everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But there's an overall experience that people aren't catching. And yours nails it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had a lot of gummies, okay? There's a mouthfeel that you look for, and you'll know what I mean.
Yes. It took a long time to get to that right texture.
Right. And the gum in it doesn't linger. It melts away, okay? It's not over sticky. It doesn't coat the throat. Like, it's a good fucking solid edible. Yeah. I don't know if I would go straight into 100, but
no, I usually tell people, and I probably didn't give you the lecture that I give most people, but I tell most people to cut it into at least quarters, probably even less for a first timer. But I knew
so that wasn't bite size.
Yeah, that was the whole full on. I'm an experienced user size.
Fuck me running, can I? Damn.
I should have warned you, but I made an assumption. You're a chef. You handled it.
Oh no, it was good. No, it was a good nap, man. Like that was the thing. Like I was just like, I probably should have started. I was out, and I'll be honest though. When you feel an edible putting you down, like I say, like knocking you out, man, go to sleep.
Yeah,
your body needs it. Go to sleep. That's your body telling you need to fucking sleep.
Right.
And it was right. And I woke up well rested going, yo, let's get the other, there's another one of those in there. Let's see what else I can do. And it was very good. I just worry that like some dumbass is going to eat one while driving.
Yeah, right. So,
don't do that.
That's right. And that's why I usually give people the talk. I knew you were going to be at a party that night and that you weren't driving. But yeah, I definitely talk to people about that. I'll say this too. If you're not somebody that wants to enjoy that feeling, because I'm the same as you, that's why I like them. But if you're not, you can take some CBD to counteract and bring you down a little bit. Or in a pinch, you could use whole peppercorns. Crunch on some whole peppercorns.
That's that terp magic. In
right
your mouth. I think it's Caraphaline, I believe, is the peppery one, I believe. There's B cariphaline, there's cariphaline, there's alpha cariphaline, terpenol, lenolol, hemeline, myrcene, what else? Pinene, oh, of course, I fucking forget. Limonene, limeine, whatever it is. There's a shit ton of them. There's like 113 that we know of now. Not to mention all the ones in the culinary world that we already knew about, like thyme and all of these things that fit into that. Ergo, I'm going to be a fucking amazing, like...
Yes. And the pairing,
chemist or some shit.
Again, you're like a sommelier. Make the right pairings with the right food, and then you pair the terpenes in the food with the terpenes in the cannabis, and just really helps with that euphoric experience. And
that's the point of it.
Yeah.
You know, food is supposed to be an experience. And so that's why, you know, I look back at food before we get into the favorite doves. We kind of went off in left field, as we always do. But I look at, you know, a Michelin star quality food. Okay, it's good. It's cool. It's upper class. All right, cool. What makes it so special? It's Michelin. Right, but what makes it so special? But it's Michelin. Right, but it's Michelin. Okay, we're gonna keep doing this. Okay,
Yeah,
we've all
right.
seen Doctor Strange. I'm gonna write it out because I'm just gonna continue to ask the same question over and over again, and then you're just gonna get sick of it because let's face it, I'm not going anywhere. The point is, okay, what happens if I were to take Michelin quality, food and infuse it with fire or the new allegedly, and make you have an experience that's transcendental
Yes.
while
And
sitting in your chair?
my feeling, and I don't know if we talked about this. I'm interested to hear your perspective. A lot of the stuff that you get off the shelf is made with distillate nowadays, and I'm a real believer in full spectrum, which is what my gummies are that you ate the other night.
I don't like distillate, like at all. Like distillate is if you can, so if your stuff was made with distillate, then you did it right. I'm gonna say that. Okay.
No, it wasn't. That's my
Okay,
point.
good.
It was
Right,
not.
because I was just like, if that had distillate in it, then I'm gonna fucking eat my words right now.
No, it
But at the same
wasn't.
time, that's the one thing that across the board, people are like, yo, it's not. It's fucking hot dog water, and you're
Right.
feeding me some bullshit. Okay.
Right.
That's that distillate. It's pure. It's not. I can see through it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you can get light through it, it ain't distillate.
Right.
You
Well,
understand?
you know, companies like to use distillate, and I see chefs cook with it too, because it's easy, right?
Right.
But I go, everything that you eat that you get from me came from straight plant material, you know, and that's
You can
that's how I
tell.
roll.
You could tell. So listen, if you taste something artisanally crafted, that's how I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? And put together for a good fucking reason, you can taste the quality of it.
Yeah.
All right, and you can feel the quality of it. That's why
Yeah.
they like put loving food. And you're right, but also put the right fucking time in it. I want to be I'll be in the restaurant. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care. If you're gonna treat somebody like shit, then you're done. I'll come kick you out my fucking self. That's my point. I'm not afraid to tell people to fuck off. I think Yelp shouldn't be a thing, but you know, whatever, right? I think that cannabis is the way to save both that industry, but cooking as well.
I
think it's
agree.
gonna revolutionize the way that we vacation.
Yes, and this is the opportunity to take advantage. Michigan has a real opportunity here in the Midwest that is, you know, we talk about the .com boom of the late 90s. This
Yep.
is it. This is it. And with a state that's on an economic recovery after coronavirus, after everything that's happened, the auto industry, you know, we don't have to recount everything that's happened. I'm a restaurant girl. I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, so I know what it's like. This is Michigan's opportunity now to really not just bring the plant to people, but to bring money to the state that otherwise might not come.
Right.
Why
you're
is it
absolutely
not a
right.
plane go all the way to Colorado? You can drive to Michigan and be there without all the hassle of the airport, security, bringing, you know, things across the state lines that you have to worry about. No, you just come to Michigan and you can enjoy right in Michigan. So I'm excited about the
And
opportunity.
feel safe while you do it. You know,
Right.
and that's my point. Like, so it was interesting because, like, when at that event this weekend, we were all kind of smoking and stuff. But there were a few times I looked over my shoulder just in case, and that's gonna happen because of the PTSD that we've been fed. You know, but at the same time, like when I finally realized everybody there was doing the exact same fucking thing,
Right.
it made that sunset just more beautiful. You feel me?
It's amazing.
You know, speaking of beautiful things, we got to get into the favorite dubs. We got to get into it. I've completely fucking went off in left field. I'm sorry.
This is great
Favorites.
conversation. Don't you be sorry.
Oh, listen. It's all content, right? It's all content. And I could use that if I want something too. I guess I don't fucking know. But no. So, what is your favorite like way to consume cannabis? Would it be smoking it, like joints or whatever have you, or would it be like actual edibles?
So while I would love to say it's edibles, it's actually glass.
Get it.
Let me get in this
Get it.
thing here.
Look at that.
I actually smoke
That was like a
more than
penis
anything.
extender on a bong. That's exactly what that was.
You have no. This
Look at
thing. Look at this. This is athletic tape. because I love this thing so much and I just can't get rid of it. So yes, glass is my favorite. I would say edibles are my second favorite, and in terms of, I really loved Dixie mints. I love to eat those mints in the morning. They get me going.
Yep.
But
I feel that. So like,
they're good.
kind of run us through a day of the use of cannabis with you. Like, you get up in the morning, go.
All right, so I get up in the morning. I probably smoke a bowl to get my day started. Get showered and get to my desk and fire up the computer. And I probably do have one of the gummies in the morning because they don't make me sleepy for whatever reason. Maybe just because I'm used to them. But I usually put on the music. I'm a huge Prince fan, so a lot of days I listen to some Prince radio and a lot of funk. So Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, those types of things, and but other funk music stuff from the 70s. I like the disco, and that's music that just gets me pumping in the morning, along with the edible. I wish I did more of this. I used to play Dance Central every day to work out, and I sort of cut out during the pandemic. So I got to get back to my Dance Central. But that's, again, having that stimulation from the edible to combine with the exercise, it makes it just all that more fun. And honestly, I mean, you can kind of see my chin here. I'm not a big exercise fan, but if I eat an edible and start dancing,
That's
good.
Exercise.
That's exercise, right? So the edibles just help me stay up in the morning, and then probably throughout the rest of the day, I probably smoke hourly or even more than that. So if I eat probably an edible 3 times a week. I'm trying to cut back on sugar, so that's why trying to experiment with other things like hummus, more savory flavors, so I don't necessarily have to do it in a sugary treat. I want to try to be more conscious and healthy about how I make and eat the edibles.
Right.
You know, and in our society, the way that we traditionally think of them as candies and cookies, and I'm trying to change that just for myself so I can be healthier.
Oh, absolutely. I became COVID curly, so I don't really like the idea of diets, but I do like intermediate fasting. So I've done that with like black coffee and like, you know, just water. Stop drinking pop, you know, stop drinking soda, you know, stop doing stupid shit. Like, you get the munchies, cool, munch on some celery. Like, stop putting it in soup and eating a bunch of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I may or may not have made what I call Candy Mountain out of ice cream and a bunch of cereal. I'm just saying, okay?
I can't imagine that anyone would do something like that.
Yeah, these fucking stoners. Anyways, so, you know, you gain some weight, and then you're like, all right, I know what I got to do. But so intermediate fasting with edibles is one thing. So if I pop a small gummy in the morning, it's not a lot of sugar, you know, but at the same time, you pop one of those, drink your coffee or enhance your coffee or whatever have you, and then smoke a joint. Dude, I'm good to go till like 6 p.m. Right. Depends. You know, if I get smoke some fire or that new, apparently I'll get the munchies.
I'm excited about some of these beverage enhancers that I'm seeing that are not necessarily no calorie, but they're close. Right. So I want to see how much sugar is in those and how well they work. And so that's my concern is.
I'm worried they're distillate.
Right, distillate, and that's my concern is whether that's what they're made out of or not. And we all know too, fat-based products are just the best way for your body to absorb cannabinoids when you eat them. So it's hard to stay away from coconut oil and things like that. But you still can, and you just have to do it all in moderation. That's all.
So you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm actually working on an experiment tonight in the kitchen. Late night kitchen studies. I'm going to infuse bacon fat.
Nice. This is something I've always wanted to do. I bet it's going to come out great.
We're going to try, because here's the thing. You have a bunch of bacon fat, right? I save mine. You know, we'll dab a bacon fat. Oh, there you go. You know? Yeah. And so what if I put it in you can do the same shit.
Yes, absolutely. You can infuse it just the same as you would a coconut oil.
Exactly, but ain't nobody talk about that.
But it tastes great. I bet it's going to
Yeah, and so you know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna take that bacon fat and then some bone marrow. Yeah.
See, I told Rodney I'm a home cook, so I don't do fancy shit like that. But
That's not even that
I would
fancy.
eat that. I have an appreciation for the finer ways of cooking. I'm just not schooled the way you are. I bet
You know, it's a school of hard knocks is really what it was. I learned a lot of things technically on paper. I will say this, culinary school just really wasn't my forte, I'll be honest with you. Wasn't really my thing, wasn't my jam. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old, man. That's
Right.
something, you know.
and you gotta love it.
Exactly. There's a couple of, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've quit a lot of jobs because I just won't be treated like shit for $11 an hour. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, if you think that I'm gonna continue to work for you after what you just said to me, I don't think so.
Right.
You know, and so that's my point. Like, I'm not your punching bag. You know, I'm not the reason your wife left. You know, I'm not the reason that you can't get it up. I'm not the reason you're an alcoholic. Shit, you were doing all that shit before I even showed up. I tried to help a little bit and learn from you, and I don't know, accept you as a mentor when really I learned what not to do.
Right.
You know, and finally, you turn that into your food, and you realize that everything that you're cooking is just better.
Well, and that type of stuff's not tolerated in the corporate world where I come from. And so my question is, and as an organizational change person, it was actually my job to coach leadership on how to properly treat people so that they actually benefit the company instead of hurt the company. And I would like to see so much more of that in the restaurant industry, because there's no need to treat people that way.
No, it's, you know, and for every chef that tells you, oh, it's not about profit margins. No, it's about profit margins. I mean, that's the first thing that, like, they want you to know. Like, can you balance our book? What they want to know is, we need you to figure out where to make money. So if you're an accountant and a chef, you're a you can prove both of those, let's say. So let's just say simply, that's $60,000, you know, of school debt ish, okay, to become an accountant slash chef. If you do it right. When the fuck are you gonna make money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to school for all this shit, and then what's gonna happen is you're gonna do one or the other. That's what's gonna happen. I believe it's because we're doing full time is 40 plus hours a week.
Right.
And as soon as it hits plus, they start taxing you on that.
Yeah.
My question comes down to, ethically, let's ask ourselves this fucking question. How much is an hour of your life worth to you?
That's right.
If you say anything less than $100 an hour, you can fuck off right now because I'm more expensive than you. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. You hate me for that? Make your shit 101 then.
Right. No one should hate anybody for that. You should value your time enough. It's the opportunity cost, right? What else could you be doing with that time?
Exactly. You're paying for the experience. Well, who are you? I'm a motherfucker telling you that, guess what? I'm not going to cook for you for anything less than that an hour.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm going to tell you, because I know my experience. And that's just it. I don't care if it takes me 4 hours to make dinner and you sit there and smoke joints the entire time. You're going to you'll do it.
And you'll enjoy it too.
You'll be bitching the entire time. And then once you taste the food, you're going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, just hurry up and apologize now. Yeah, we can just go. You can start kissing my ass now. The point is, and I say that very egotistically because I know that there's no other outcome for that.
Right.
There's no other way, because here's the thing. I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
I don't like to compete at all. Food isn't about how fast you can get it out.
Right.
Food is about harnessing a moment in time, okay, and portraying for that person, because you never know. That could be that person's first meal from a coma, and it could be their first meal before they go into a coma or they die, God forbid. You know, my point is, you never know. And so instead of slinging plates out and trying to cover your overhead, don't stress about the money, okay? Put a little bit more time into that steak, all right?
Right.
I'm telling you, if you wanna look at something terrible, look at how much waste there is from undercooked steaks and all that other bullshit. Okay, if we just put a little bit more time into things, our waste on everything, including produce, will go down.
Yes.
In addition to, people are going to learn to pay more for their food. You don't like that? Go cook yourself. Oh wait, you can't cook?
Right.
Oh, but you can watch Food Network and you've done that. Okay,
Right.
so good luck.
Well, and I
That's
think
all I'm gonna
people
say.
have shown they're willing to pay for the food,
Right.
and that's where. So then that's where you get into the overhead and what's it worth for people to pay for that experience. And if you have people that come in and spend a certain amount of their income on subpar food, they're not going to come back. And so I'm willing to pay more when I know, to what you always say, consistency, that the experience that I get is going to be consistent, that it's going to be friendly, and then that experience. So I know you were kind of just joking around, but hey, you can smoke a bunch of joints while you're waiting for your food. That sounds pretty awesome to me.
Right. Some people, people have that, hey, can you hurry up? It's just like, I say this to people, and I say this, and I've kicked people out of my restaurant that I've for this, years ago. I said the same thing. And I would have people, I need to talk to the chef. I need to talk to the chef. I need to talk to the chef. Are you fucking kidding me? Fine.
Yeah, right.
I go out there like, can you just please put our ticket in front and we'll even tip you out and da-da-da. Our movie starts in 45 minutes. I'm like, ma'am, real quick. I was like, I can tell just real quick from, the augmentations that you've had. Did you ask your plastic surgeon to hurry up and rush his procedure? Well, no, why would I do that? I was like, then why the fuck are you asking me to hurry this? I was
Right.
like, you knew. I was like, your poor sense of planning is not my state of emergency.
Right.
You understand? That's
Yeah.
not how this works. I was like,
Right.
if you have a reservation, then you're going to just have to write it out and enjoy the experience.
Right.
You may miss your movie. I'm sorry, but I guarantee that this experience is worth more than that movie. They stayed. They stayed and enjoyed their meal,
Oh, awesome.
even though I halfway insulted her. But they stayed and enjoyed their meal just to piss me off. And you know what? They kept coming back
Right. Because
to
it was
piss
good.
me off. But that's the thing. That's the thing. But I'm not against grabbing some up by the coat, get out of here. Fuck them. You're missing the point here. But that's the way that I grew up. Speaking of missing the point here, I digress. We smoke weed. It is
That's
what
right,
it
we
is.
smoke
But
weed. That's what
I
this
want to
is
jump
about.
to a quick commercial real quick from Pigfish Dime Mag, and then come back to the crazy times, the crazy doves. I want to know what happened that one time you just had way too much cannabis. When we come back, stick around, guys. Pigfish Dime Mag, it's out right now. A bunch of dispensaries and storefronts across Michigan. Check it out at pigfishdimemag.com. So this next section is all about that one time, whether it be, smoking or, edibles. We've consumed cannabis and just had a lot more than we probably should have.
Okay.
Let's face it, that happens.
Yes, it does.
It seems to happen a lot more than I would like it to, but I'm alive and here we go. So,
Right.
what's that one time that you just had way too much, and why did it happen?
So I am willing to be embarrassed by this story. So
Which is the point.
I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. So as an experienced edibles person over the years, everybody has their moments where they've overconsumed because, you got to test your limits. And so I thought I was done with those years. Okay. I thought I was pretty good. I can eat those gummies that I gave you and be just fine. Okay.
Right.
Well, I made a tincture last summer in the pandemic times. Yeah. And it was really one of the first times I made a freezer tincture where I used 190 Everclear and I steeped it in a mason jar with cannabis for like a week, and then I filtered it out. And I would take shots of it at night to get to sleep. And after a couple of weeks, I was like, I could take more of this. I'll have an extra shot. So I probably took like 3 shots of it. My husband had gone to the grocery store when I did this, and I was cooking dinner when he left, and he had to go get something whatever. And by the time he came home, I was on the floor, passed out, like in a whole other, I don't even know what planet I was on, obviously.
You went to Narnia is what you
It was great.
Real quick.
Crazy. And actually, oh God, and he ended up having to call an ambulance to come and check on me. Oh my God, it's so terrible. So I told you
there is a thing called cannabis toxicity.
Yes,
so,
well,
yeah.
and you know what it really was? What he said to me later when I was fine, they just had to give me some fluids and flush it out of me. It was the alcohol. It was really the Everclear more than it was the cannabis. And, you know, I would normally burn the alcohol off and make it into a FICO, and I didn't.
Right.
I just took the shots because I wanted to do it quick. And that's really what it was. My lesson is that alcohol and cannabis don't always mix for me, and I'll just stick to cannabis. And honestly, since then, I have rarely even taken a drink of anything, let alone something cannabis infused.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I alcohol free for 6 years, you know, and I'm going on 7. It's just not for me anymore. A lot of people will ask me, be like, oh, why don't you drink anymore? Well, you don't get to ask me that. You know,
Right.
I don't ask you why you do. You don't get to ask me that. You know, well, you used to drink. What happened? Again, you don't get to ask me that. I mean,
Right.
I'll buy you a beer and sit down and tell you. But I mean, if you really want to know, but it ain't a quick answer, homie.
Right.
And
right.
you know, generally they'll judge you accordingly. I like that, man. I like that I'm not the only person that had to go to the hospital because of cannabis toxicity, which is I just couldn't stop puking.
Right.
And they were really scared about that, and they're like, well, with as much as you puked up, you're going with us, bud. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at with that.
And I think it's a great point, though, that you and I are experienced with this, and even we can fuck up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so for somebody who's new to this, you know, be extra careful. Just all of us at some point in life learned to drink when we were, you know, 21 or maybe younger. I'm not going to say, but we all learned that there's a level of toxicity and that there's a level that we can't cross. And everybody learns that about drinking, but they don't necessarily think about that with cannabis. So I would just say to caution everybody that starts out with edibles and really follow that, you know, they'll give out the little informational cards that tell you start with 5. Seriously, follow that advice.
A 26-year veteran in the kitchen, and just assume cannabis user.
Yeah.
I know I'm young, but if I fucking tell you only eat half of it and you eat more, you can't get mad at me.
That's right.
You broke the rule. I told you eat half. Well, you knew I was good. That's your goddamn fault then.
That's right. Listen
You were
to
an
what
adult.
I am telling you.
I gave you instructions you chose not to do. That's not
That's
my
right.
fault. You know, at the same time, here's the thing. If you do quote unquote overdose, which is technically, I know there's such a negative connotation to it, and it's there for, I wouldn't say good reason, but the severity is a good reason behind it.
Right.
I don't think that overdoses would happen if of opiates and stuff like that, but we're not going to go that deep into it.
Right.
What I
You're
am
not
saying
going
is
to
this.
die, but you're going to
Right.
feel like you did.
Correct. You're gonna feel like shit, and then you're gonna wake up and be hungry as fuck. That's what happens. You know what it is just your body breaking it down to CBN. That's exactly what it is. And when that happens, when you can account for that, what if I told you I could give you an edible that I timed it perfectly? So you would be blitzed for 15 minutes, kind of dive into like a little bit of an like I want to say couch locking CBN, and then boom, the CBG kicks in, and then you're up and at 'em. That's
Right.
my point. What if I put something like that into food, and you're like, how the hell? What? But you just narrated the next 30 minutes of my life. You're welcome. It's magic.
Well, and you know, as a chef, you can do that, and that's. I don't want to put down dispensary brands because they're great, and you know, like for
They
us,
have their place.
They have their place. That's right. When you want a little more education, when you want a little more hey, this is how it's going to vary throughout your experience. I think a lot of people don't realize that either, that if you take a pretty heavy edible, it's going to feel different an hour in than it does, say, 3 hours in. And then if you eat a bunch of French fries in between, the oil from the French fries are going to boost you right back up, and then you're going to have a whole different experience. And people have to, again, people that are new to this, they don't know that. And that's part of what I like to do as an educator, is just help people through the process. I don't want anybody to ever be scared off of edibles, and that can happen to people who overconsume sometimes.
Correct.
And I don't want
they
that to
burn
happen.
themselves the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they never go back, and nobody
Right.
does that with drinking.
Nope. Nope. They're like, shit, I'm gonna get more wasted than that, you know. And that's the point of it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I smoke a joint, something that puts me on my ass, I'm gonna come back and ask for two. But I know that knowingly.
Right.
I know it's stupid. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
You know, rebellious nature or not, this plant has a karma, you know, in and around it, and that karma you can definitely taste, and it's the effects, man. So many people are going to these dispensaries, sorry y'all, it's saying that you know, THC percentage is important. It's high. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You can give me 45% THC, and guess what? It may not do shit to me,
Right.
but you don't like that because it loses a sale.
Right.
You see my point? You need to, you know, all the cars drive different, but you need something to, you know, to that's just it. Don't cater to an idiot. And if I hit you with like, yo, real talk, terpenes, they're like, well, that terpene profile is, don't robotically give it to me.
Right.
Don't.
Well,
If I want to be spoon fed, I'll go to a nursery.
Well, and something you said earlier, even about the restaurant industry, you know, what are they paying these people to give that type of information? And it's a catalog of information that you and I have learned over years of time, that these are people that are essentially in retail jobs. You know, maybe yesterday they worked at Target or something like that, and now they're at a dispensary as a bud tender. And that's, I'd like to see more education from that perspective too.
I think that it's going to get to the point to where, much like everything else in life, you have to have a master's degree to work as a server, you know, and that's the unfortunate part of it. Whereas you got Bill Gates and people like that have just never finished college, and you know. I've seen a lot of postings for jobs in kitchens, just for head chefs, that are making $36,000 a year. I shit you not, $36,000 a year, and they want you to work 55 plus hours a week. You absolutely have to work weekends and night shifts, and here's the best part: no health insurance.
Right.
Okay, no health insurance, and here's the even kicker: there's tips and bonuses based off performance.
Oh. Wonderful.
Okay, first and foremost, check it out. If I ever call off on a day off and you don't give me health insurance, I'm quitting that job.
Right.
If I tell you, yo, my body's shutting down and like I'm legitimately like I'm sick as fuck, and you're like, oh, you have to go to the doctors. No. If you don't provide me for health insurance, I'm not doing that.
Right.
You can eat my fucking dick.
Well, and it's hard labor too. Being on your feet all day.
Exactly.
Sweating in the kitchen. Yeah, no, it's wrong. It's you know, we could get into a whole. I know this is a cannabis show, but we could get into a whole discussion around how workers are treated poorly.
Exactly, it's ethics, and with that, cannabis has this. And that's what I'm saying. The karma of cannabis. I know some dispensaries that pay their people very well, okay, and they're not corporate. That's what I'm gonna say, okay.
Right.
I know some corporate places that they have their what's called competitive wages. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, fine. Give me a bunch of CEOs. I'll give them a bunch of knives and a bunch of rabid dogs and throw them in. Now you got to compete for your life. How's that? Because that's what you're doing.
Right.
That's, to me, that's not okay. With caretakers in just kind of grassroots cannabis, kind of your background, you know, walking from the corporate world, you kind of you put a little daisy in the end of a machine gun, if you will. Yeah, it's a hippie move, but at the same time, is it really though? Or are you sick of like just the corporate bullshit and tax and levies and this and that, and you know this person's screwing that person, you're like, well, fuck this place.
Right. And for who am I doing this?
Exactly. Right? You're making that person rich. You ain't making no money.
That's right.
You know? And that's the point of it. I'm not trying to be rich. That's just it.
Right.
I want to be able to pay my bills. I would love to travel, because let's face it, I never got to as a chef. When they told you that you were, dude, part-time for me was working 45 hours.
I know.
That's part-time.
It's shameful.
you know, and it's I never got to. You want a vacation? Are you serious?
Right.
You had to hire your vacation. And then in some cases fire your vacation just so you could have a vacation.
Right.
And I should have never had to do that. You shouldn't have put me in that position. And you know, and a lot of that is said. But moving on to cannabis, it's a whole. I can make my own, you know, industry standard. You know,
Right.
The kitchen that I want to operate with. It's like I can sit down and talk to people, and they're like, "Let's do it."
Right.
That's the point. It's ethical. You know, it's locally sourced. It's sustainable. It's all around amazing, 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 amazing. Speaking of all around amazing, we have made it to the last dub, almost right on time. The last dub. When we come back after a message from Hempel Farms. Stay tuned, guys. That's Hempel Farms, y'all. They're out of Arizona, and like honestly, like I don't know. Lisa, have you ever dabbed CBD?
No.
That's my jam. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like isolate's not so much, but they have CBD dabs. They had Pineapple Express, of course. What was it? What was it? Green crack. Fire.
It looks delicious.
Oh, it was so good. It was amazing. It was amazing. Definitely check them out, guys. And by the way, yeah, like kudos to them. They got some like awesome stuff going on in Arizona. It kind of makes me want to come down there. And I've had somebody that they're affiliated with call me, and I was like, I don't know, man, I'll melt. Like, I got that northern ice. I got ice in my blood. I'm
Me
Nordic,
too.
man. I'll melt quick.
That's a
And they're
January
like, well,
trip.
can we come see you? I was like, yeah, you know where I'm at. That's where it's at. But we made it to the last part of the show. This is the planned dub. So the planned dub, what is it all about? So we know where you came from. We know how you got started. We want to know where you would go if given the chance.
Okay.
What you would do if given the chance.
All right.
And a good way to find that out is to get to know the person a little bit better, right? So that leads me into, who would you smoke with, dead or alive?
Okay. I've thought about this.
Most people haven't.
It is hard to say, but I think it would be, I'm going to pick Woody Harrelson. And here's why. So I wouldn't say that I think Woody
Warning, he
Harrelson-
can't jump very high.
Right. He can't.
it?
And
Get
then, yeah, I get it. And that's why I don't think
It's a
he's
good
that
movie.
great of an actor. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it was a great one.
We'll have to ask Wesley Snipes on that one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that'll work. I was waiting for it. I was either waiting for the title or waiting for you to have me out. Okay, we'll keep it like that.
I would not play basketball with him. He would still probably beat me anyway. But he seems like a really cool dude. You know, he has this backstory. You know, his dad was a murderer and
Yeah.
is in prison. But he's been a cannabis advocate for a really long time. He's just not as well known as Willie or Snoop, who I would also pick, by the way. But I'd like to get Woody's perspective on what's going on in the industry now. You don't hear him out in the media talking a lot, you know, but he's still like from way back. So I would love to hear from him what his favorite strains are, places he likes to go, and just, you know,
I lost my lip ring. I got it on. We're good.
so yeah, Woody Harrelson is who I'll choose this time.
Get it. I'm with it. Like, obviously, like he's the homie to smoke weed with and like break into Bill Murray's mansion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's who you'd be like, fuck it, Texarkana and shit. Anyways, But I vibe that. I vibe that. I mean, I would probably ask him a little bit more about what he had going on in Kentucky. He was arrested for some, growing in Kentucky for a few years. People don't know about that, and he's just like, okay, you know what I mean? He's like, do you know who I am? He's like
the
TV.
biggest down low celebrity when it comes to weed that is into weed.
Okay, if I had to
out there.
If I had to, like, perfect real talk, this would be really, really fun. Woody Harrelson, okay, you got Woody right there. You get my man Keanu on the opposite side of that, and you sit down for that conversation. That's gonna be some knowledge right there. You want to talk about like good, solid, wholesome people,
right?
That
right.
You can't get any more than that.
Maybe one of these days they come out to Blue Dream Experiences and we make a meal for them.
That's
what we need to do.
I'll tell you this though, if he becomes Neo and starts dodging bullets, and hell no.
There's no bullets in our world. There's no bullets.
You say that though, but the Matrix is you don't know. You're part of the Matrix. You don't know.
What can we throw at him? Dons?
No, we'll just have to have we're just not doing the limbo contest.
No, he would beat us all. We would all lose.
But I'm the one. I know. You're number one. Great. Fucking you won that. Great. Let's do something else.
Here, take this red pill.
Yeah. What do we do for the next 45 minutes before that kicks in? Fuck. But that's a thing. Like I really like the Matrix for what it was, but I still think that it was ahead of its time.
Definitely.
I think that if you go back and you watch it now, there's a lot more meaning. You're like, oh fuck, and yeah, there's a lot of
one of my theories is that we are living in a sim. So the Matrix really resonates with me, and I do think we might all be living in a sim, and that our video game overlords are just waiting to see what we do.
Okay, hang on.
You weren't expecting that.
If that's the case, no, I can work with that. If that's the case, where the fuck are my cheat codes?
Well, cheat codes are just a construct of humanity inside the game. So
this is true. I mean, this is true.
Codes.
At the same time, I wouldn't be able to level as ruggedly, if you will, if I had cheat codes. I guess honestly I would want something more organic with a more solid foundation than something you can buy fake online. You feel
our cheat code might be cannabis. It may very well be. This is the thing that gets me through every day. So I think I found what I need.
I commonly refer to cooking as my life as cooking is walking through a haunted house that's been lit on fire. Like, there's some gruesome shit that I've seen. Like, I've watched people die. It's insane. I've watched people try and kill me. It's insane. I've also tried to kill myself. It's insane. Like, it's this very, very dark past. But that's the thing. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? And so...
And you beat those levels already. You beat those levels. And so
it's fun to go back and, like, get a little bit of XP here and there. But that's the point of it. Like, you don't worry about what's in the past. Talk about it, learn from it, keep moving forward. And that's the point of it. Cannabis helps you do that. There's no better fucking way. I've tried therapy. I went to a therapist actually as soon as I started smoking cannabis, just to be like, hey, can you tell me what to like stop thinking about booze? Because I'm sober, but I'm still thinking about this shit. And he's like, well, not while you're smoking weed, I can't. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Well, we're done here.
My husband had the same experience, and
and I didn't have health insurance. I had to pay for that shit out of pocket. Yeah. It's expensive.
Right. That should be on the questionnaire when you go to find somebody,
Right.
And it's such reefer madness, and it's if only from that perspective, psychologists could tap in and say, what are the good things? And we're looking now, what are the good things that cannabis can do? What are the good things that mushrooms can do?
Reduces the temptations of psychosomatic auditory hallucinations and helps with, there's just so much. PTSD to Alzheimer's to a multitude of things that you have stolen from people that could have been researched saving your life right now because you were greedy based off of what one individual said all those years ago to make an extra $1. How stupid do you feel?
Right.
That's my question.
The good thing is, the learning part that I look forward to is how much things have changed in the last even 5 years, and we're seeing more openness now. And I make fun, and I'm a Gen Xer, but that's a lot thanks to the millennials and saying that we're not going to have this, and we want to look at alternatives and to give a lot of credit to the generations ahead that have fought for this all along. And that we are seeing some progress, and that's what I'll hang my hat on. Is
When I was younger, I was prescribed Adderall and Ritalin, much like very, I was just rebellious. I was a rebel without a cause. Listen, I thought I was tough shit. Some people I was, some people I wasn't. But there's a lot of issues going on, a lot of hormones. Middle child. Long story short, wasn't fun. And I knew I was going to be a chef the rest of my life. I was like, fuck it, this is all I get. Like, this is my one shot to party. I get to party now. This is my weekend. All right, I got to go. I'm graduating into work. Y'all are just going to make it, And so it's like, you worry about these things from time to time when you're growing up, and you don't have time for anything really, but at the end of the day, you get time for everything. I've noticed that, like, on Adderall, like, I didn't want to, it felt heavy. I did a lot of sleeping. They're like, oh, that's just hormones. It wasn't, though. It was the Adderall putting me to sleep. And I noticed that if I smoked weed, I felt better. So I just got rid of my Adderall, And so at that point in time, like, I didn't really see anything that I was doing wrong, And then the doctors are like, well, no, you can't do that. And then no, I can't, get it anymore. It's fine. Exactly. So I was just like, okay. And so then that all stopped, and no one wanted to help me as a lost cause, like, whatever, flagged, whatever you want to say. And so fast forward into alcoholism, there's that. Chefs don't just pick up one thing and shake it out and put it down. No, we obsess over it. Right. We want to know how it lives, how it breathes, everything. And so with alcoholism, well, you can just imagine. And so I look back now, my entire point of this is, what happens if weed was legal and we could give CBD to kids in replace of Adderall? I wonder how much better they would be.
Yes, I can't agree more. It should be as much as an option as a pharmaceutical.
Oh, 100%. And I think that we should honestly have, we have pain clinics for opiates, right? They give you more opiates, so that's how that works.
Right.
How about we have a pain clinic where they just give you a bunch of weed?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my point. I mean, there's an abundance of it. There's a bunch of weed that we're throwing hundreds of pounds away because we're just producing too much, because everybody got to get in the game. So what if you had to donate some of that to a local, farm or something, cultivation place? They gave it to people that were, drug addicts or former veterans or people with real fucking problems.
Right.
An actual pain clinic. Oh, wait, that's a dispensary? Okay, so yeah, they have their place. You see my point. So
yeah, totally.
But I think that just because we have McDonald's doesn't mean that can be the only restaurant. There are a bunch of other different ones, and there are restaurants that mom and pops open up, and those right there are what's going to build that green Route 66 back across the nation, honestly.
Cannot agree more.
If you want Americana, you put a little weed in it.
Right. Well, and you're absolutely right. You can have your chain restaurants, and then you can have your little mom and pops that are, or even your fancy restaurants that are, they're always local. And so that's what I hope to see the industry become. There are always going to be the big players, and what you said earlier, there's a place for that, but there's always a place in my mind, for craft cannabis, for home growing, for people that tend to their plants personally and want to share that with other people.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show today and kind of getting that message out to people. I look forward to almost everything you've got going on. I mean, I've tasted the edibles. I see where you're going with that.
Thank you.
So absolutely. So I can only imagine, like, what kind of trail you've blazed as an edibles educator and a party host and things of that nature. How you've built L.A.DAWSON, if you will. And I see that now the acronym, Michigo, sorry, yeah. I'm high, sorry. But the Michigan Cannabis Hospitality Industry Growth Organization. Wow,
good job.
So that one, the acronym there actually stands for something that's important, and it's very good, because let's face it, let's say that we create a chain of restaurants that are cannabis infused. All right, cool. Let's say that we create a chain of restaurants that ethically pays everybody a specific, amazing amount an hour, and this and that, and we set the industry. Well, we're gonna get in trouble. Like, that's what's gonna happen. The point is, though, that's the way that it should be, and honestly, that's anarchy.
Yeah, right.
That's the beauty of it.
Positive anarchy.
That's what it is. Anarchy isn't something that's just like, oh, let's just tear down the statue. Well, we've been tearing down statues for a very long time now here in America, and y'all just want to call it democracy and unity and things like that, when really that's anarchy.
Well, right, and we can make our own little difference in the world in our own little place, and hopefully that ripples out and makes impact in the world.
Screw ripple, just cannonball in that shit. That's what we need to do. You got your warning. You see the fat man up in the air. That's it. You know what's coming. Why are you going to sit in the pool? Move.
Right.
Wait for a second. Maybe.
Right on. Well, this is why we're building a whole village with Blue Dream Experiences, where people can come and enjoy cannabis in a residential setting, but with individual entrepreneurs that own those residences, and to offer personal services like cooking, like massage, like yoga. We're very excited to be able to be the first in Michigan, and we think the first in the country developing something like that. So that's my first cannonball into the pond, and
there it is.
I can't wait until you come to see us and that we can cook together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look forward to it. We'll have to do it really, really soon.
Definitely.
Again, thank you for coming on the show. You guys make sure you go check out my girl Lisa. The website one more time.
BlueDreamExperiences.com.
There it is. And on Instagram at Blue Dream Experiences. I know I'm excited for everything, and it's kind of serendipitous a little bit. Sorry, dry mouth. Because I just got done growing some Blue Dream. So that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, next time I see you, we'll have to cook.
I'll have to bring some. I'll have to bring some. You should definitely try it. If you're a Blue Dream fan, hell, if you named your company after, you might as well taste it, right?
Indeed.
But absolutely. Well, thank you again, you guys, gals, everybody in between. This has been another episode of the Daily Chronicles. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss L.A.DAWSON. Absolutely, absolutely. This is season 2, y'all. I'll see you on the flip. We'll see you Thursday. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Tell me, how has cannabis impacted your life?
Now, this is something I've been asked a few times now. The answer is simple. It gave me my life back. Over the years of putting a flame to a pan or mincing onions, I've learned that state of mind is a powerful thing. Far too often do we let things like anxiety and depression take the wheel and steer us. The use of cannabis has taught me the importance of self-care, which has allowed me to take a step back, observe, deduce, and calculate my feelings and emotions. This has helped me in so many ways, in and out of the kitchen, that I believe in this so much I've decided to change my life and help erase the stigma behind the devil's lettuce. This is where I choose to tell my story with flavors and terpenes. Only this is where I add my own flavor, a flavor that can help people heal as I did, cannabis. So grab a joint, light it up, and come with me as I embark on this journey. This is Deliciously Dope, a journey into the world of culinary cannabis.
It's not gonna blow up my ears or anything. Hi, my name is Anthony. Most people call me Malloy. I don't know why, actually. Probably because I was a very forgettable teenager. Or because Anthony's probably hard to remember. Anyway, I search for water in my home. Where it comes from, mark goes after it's used. And I've been doing this at a very young age. Child. I'm going to try to put my theories to rest today.
Now, I've noticed that snow goes away at the end of every winter, and I don't know where it disappears to, but at a mid-age I was told that snow is frozen water. So instead of having a H2O no, I'm going to keep researching on where it goes after it has been used and melted. I even closed off my esophagus temporarily to see if the water would escape into my body. It didn't.
On my phone, he knows water. Yeah, hi, Fred?
Are you calling about the water again? Water fucking evaporates. End of discussion. Now let me masturbate alone. Noise free, or I'll kill your entire relative bloodline.
Well, he probably didn't get his cornflakes this morning. I somehow don't believe him. But I got another trick up my sleeve. It's in there, but we're gonna find it.
So upon further research, yep, snow melts into the ground. Ergo, the water in my house must evaporate into my basement. Water is too hard to catch sometimes. So, maybe ice will get to the bottom of this predicament. Put it down and see if it melts into the basement further.
Damn it. Ice disappears like snow water.
I'm gonna need a lot of help. Fred, he's not helping, so local phone book. I'm gonna dial some numbers. I'm gonna get going. Okay. Ansel Aardvark. Hello, Ansel Aard. Oh. Message machine. Hi, Barbara Belva. Yeah. I know. I've heard it a few times today. Dinner? Well, I don't know you, but... Alright. Yes, is this Floyd Featherton? Yeah, I got some questions about water. Oh. Well, I'm going through every single name in the phone book to get... Hello? It's Ingram Idiom? Yeah, I got some questions about water. Oh yeah, you don't have any information for me. Okay. That's great. You have an awesome day too. Oh. Water warehouse work. This has to be it. Has to be. Water warehouse. We know you got them. Pick up! Pick up! Come on. We know you're there. Malloy.
Where goes the H2Os?
My name's Emilio. I'm a snowbank fighter. Been training for the past few days now. It's gonna be happening in Mexico or South America or something. The official uniform, we got ourselves a parka with the black, on the black, skin, pudgy skin. I don't know why the fuck they told us to wear these, but yeah, there's plaid and we have khakis, boots because it's snow, fingerless gloves. So yeah, let's give you some of my tips of training. Hip toss. Oh. Ooh, fuck mine.
Hey, Muley, I gotta tell you something.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something, Mr. Cat. Yeah, I don't use the word dog like everyone else. I use cat. See those snowbanks? My bitch. My pussy bitch. See? Got my blanket cat. That is where my region goes into because I kill them. Got lethal fingers and lethal pussy. Oh, you want to eat? Hoi mi chango. I don't know what that means. Man, I'm keep all those Mexican snowbanks to shit.
Alright, this is fucked. Emilio, I gotta tell you something.
What?
There's no SCBC or whatever the fuck you said earlier.
What the fuck you talking about, man? You give me a document to sign. It was
It's all fake. It was just for my math class or something.
What? How much I cried snow in 7 seconds? Everything in my life is just fake. Coming to a theater that's probably gonna be near you.
What are you doing? This is my home. I have to piss, and this is the only tree that I piss on. You willing to die for that piss? Yes.
Blue Dork Times calls it a raging hard-on hitting fun time.
Sure is a fine, beautiful day.
Other Face magazine says their English has improved.
The piss was more powerful.
Tree defenders coming sometime within the